Yesterday was my dunk session, so I did the basic 8 steps of 0. I dunked. What did I do in between? Well, like everything I do, every ingredient has to scale. So my in between, my knee ability prep for action has different levels. So the lowest we would think about would just be walking backwards. Knee ability plus the walking backwards alone produced this success story. A guy 52 years old and his 12-year-old saw him run for the first time. But that's not high intensity sport. That's not dunking. So we'll take this step by step. So yesterday, like I said, got to the court, went through 0. Now it's time for knee ability prep. What did Knees Over Toes Girl do? What did my wife, Alyssa, do? Well, she did level 1, which is going backwards as fast as you can without pain, 120 meters, 4 sets of 120 meters. So like in a basketball court, which everyone's gonna have access to some rec center or YMCA or LA Fitness or whatever for a basketball court, you can go from one side to the other backwards, get there, turn around, and you can do 4 of those in a row. Then you would take a 1-minute break, again, 2-minute break, again, 3-minute break, again. That would be the end of that, and you would take a 4-minute break then if you were gonna do something else, because the idea is to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up. So she started walking backwards, and by the end is running backwards as hard as she can. So coming off of a pregnancy, she's applying the same thing someone would apply if they were trying to return to sport. So rather than just having her rush to run forwards, which is basically a math equation, knee pain running forwards is a math equation of how much pain-free ability you have backwards. So from your very first step of backward walking, that's knees over toes. So we have these 2 clues that from elderly, we know that backward walking alone is an effective screening process for falling down the stairs, which is all knees over toes. And then in youth athletes, they had one group do forward sprinting, which we already do a ton of, and they had another group do backward sprinting. The backward group got significantly faster at running forwards than the forwards group and gained for every 1 inch of vertical jump, which requires knees over toes, that the forwards group gained, the backwards group gained 4 inches of vertical jump. So those 2 give us clues. If we have clues from elderly and youth, it doesn't matter if we don't have any studies in between. Not to mention, those studies are not what made me get onto this stuff. I just go find these for some of you academia folk. Academia folk, go make us better studies. All right, so that's what Knees Over Toes Girl is. That's level 1, is go backwards to the best of your ability. As an old person, you could do it, and you could gradually build to a jog or whatever. My mom's 67, she can jog backwards, and guess what? She can run forwards, no knee pain. So it doesn't really matter what age you are, young or old, you can apply that level 1. Now at level 2, we are talking about if our sport involves sprinting, then we need level 2. So the idea is rather than just rushing back in your sport, you go backwards 30 meters, then you sprint forwards 30 meters, then backwards 30 meters, then forwards 30 meters, and you would do the same 4 sets of 4, 2 each, 2 backwards, 2 forwards. So there would be no reason to get into your sport if you couldn't move your body as fast as you can backwards and as fast as you can forwards. So that would perform the next thing. But this is not a test. You're putting money in the bank. Literally by putting in the work, you adapt to get more protected. You see what I'm saying? So I used to go through a vicious cycle where I'd have knee pain or knee injury, not be able to play basketball, get out of shape, then go do a bunch of running to try to get back into shape, then have my knee hurt even worse. Now I can't play again. Now I'm hooked on painkillers masking the pain, icing my knees 4 times a day. So now I'm not even aware of the degradation that's going on, even though anti-inflammatories have been shown to wear away your cartilage. Now you tear your meniscus, which is made of cartilage. No surprise, you were literally taking drugs to destroy your cartilage in the effort to have less pain in your cartilage. So you don't have to do that. You don't even need anything to do the basic 8 steps of knee ability. And now for the knee ability prep, you don't need anything either. You just need a space to go backwards. But obviously then if you want to do a sport like basketball or something where you're going to be running as fast as you can forwards, this gives you a way in a balanced manner to balance your backwards and forwards. That's level 2. Plus, you could be running full speed backwards, and then you could just, lightly run forwards and see where it stands, and then gradually ramp up, and by the end of a session, you might have a breakthrough. So the idea of this is not some quick magic fix to get out of pain. No, we're actually trying to create real adaptation to then be a more bulletproof beast. And what do? We unlocked athletic potential based on some of those ideas from the kids. Plus, my whole concept is that you withhold yourself. The ultra slow have weak feet, shins, ankles, particularly knees. The ultra slow are scared to even exert their maximum speed, because now when you have to decelerate, you're now relying on all those factors that make you go backwards. You're resisting in that exact direction. So you're probably running with a form that, without even realizing it, the very slowest people are not actually trying to run their fastest. This is my experience timing so many kids on lasers, watching their form, getting their backwards stronger, and then watching them able to handle more. So what's level 3? Well, in sport, we don't just have backwards and forwards, which is a good start, but there's all this lateral motion, right? And what happens when you do really good lateral motion? Your knees go over your toes. So really bad lateral motion, the guys getting the ball stolen from them and stuff, they're not getting their knees over their toes. They're too scared to get down there. How did Michael Jordan play basketball? The most knees over toes 6'6" guy of all time. My opinion is that he had such a desire to win that he willed himself to play more knees over toes and be lower. It burns more, but he willed himself to that. What happens? You adapt. Now this gets easier for you than your opponent. So every time I do a dunk session, not only do I need knee ability, then I do my prep. I'm putting money in the bank so that when I play basketball, I'm more comfortable here. Not only less chance of pain, greater strength and explosiveness out of this position. So here's the drill. It's much tougher than people think until they try it. Your hands together have to be below your knees without your back rounding. For most people, that position is going to be tough to hold. You'll probably have to start just stepping, and now you're going to move your body as fast as you can. So you're thinking the whole time, you're thinking to arch that back, because even if you think you're arching your back, wait till I see your form video, it's going to look like this. So you're trying to arch your back and keep your hands below your knees. So my set is as fast as I can backwards 30 meters, fast as I can forwards 30 meters, fast as I can sideways 30 meters, and then sideways the other way. So that would be level 3. But why would you go risk playing your sport if you have fragile knees, if you can't even hold the positions that Michael Jordan was holding in his sport? So that's all. I'm going to shut up. This is the first real dedicated video on that topic. There you go. From grandma to Michael Jordan, we now have an exact, simple, so the closer we get to the truth, the simpler it gets, formula that anyone at any level can apply to know, am I ready to get back on the court? And can I put money in the bank for my knees while getting myself in shape? Yes, you absolutely can.